Good boy, good boy. Alrighty. There we go. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, welcome to the show. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. This show is sponsored by Fairdesk and Chart Prime. If you guys haven't already, make sure to look at the comments and descriptions down below, and you guys see some links to visit them. Loki is, as always, very excited to say hi to all of you guys. Come here, Loki. He very much, you can see his paws. I'm going to give him a treat here. He's very much excited. It's been a freaking long day. There you go. Okay. So, it's been a very, very long day, everybody. We're looking at Bitcoin right now, and it feels like if we're going to break out, it would be in the next 22, 23 hours. You know, this next daily candle here. We're on the verge of breaking down below that 20-day moving average, and that's not a sign that we want to see happen, right? So, I would say that really within the next 23 hours, everybody, the premise of today's show, channel, whatever you want to call it, or video, is that we should be having a pretty seismic move to the upside here if we're lucky. Now, as far as the overall market, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But as we kind of look just at the moving averages right now, we're getting closer and closer to actually having this breakout. If we don't break out today, we're most likely just going to have a downward move over the next week, I would say. And the reason I say that is normally when we actually do break down below the 20, it's usually a pretty sizable move when we move below these moving averages. But as of late, because of all this, I don't know, dollar turmoil, banking turmoil, inflation turmoil, we haven't seen the crisp breakdowns that we're used to seeing, like we saw right here between the Bitcoin charts and the 50-day moving average. We're not necessarily seeing that right now. So I would surmise that we might actually go sideways for a little bit and then eventually break down. But at least for now, everybody, I'm pretty excited to see where Bitcoin goes. If I were to hop on here to, let's just say, a 15-minute chart, you guys can see, oh, over the last few minutes, we've actually seen we've seen this nice pop so far as Bitcoin's been concerned. Now, for me, as always, I would probably, for now, let's just go back to this. Let's just add a little bit of a rectangle here just so you guys can see what's going on. Let's go from this low over here to that high over here. We're just trying to continue to break out. Maybe if you guys wanted to see this in a different light, you guys could see it something more like this. And let me add a horizontal line right there. And let's make that white just so you guys can see it a little bit more clearly, I would say, yeah. And you guys are looking at that, but that moving average does add a little bit of worriness to me because I don't want us to break down below that, because that leads us all the way back down here to at least 26,000 and a half, coming back most likely to 25,000, which would be very, very pessimistic for a lot of you guys out there. Okay, so hey GT, hope you guys are doing well. Hey Wilder Studios, what do you call? And hey the Five Wolves. As far as Fairdesk, I'm in the process of making that video. Actually, I was just it's almost done. It's on my what do you call that, DaVinci Resolve account. It'll be posted sometime tomorrow, I believe. I have a couple videos also being released. One's a trading strategy that I made using ChatGPT as far as MACDs, EMA, AXD, and the RSI, I believe it is. So yeah, I'll make sure to publish it tomorrow. It doesn't have too much work. I'll probably just take the music off and just do a plain review for you guys. But yeah, I definitely have a video in the works for you guys. I started working on it actually before I went to Las Vegas here, so I'll have some time to do it. I'd probably say tomorrow morning, probably later tonight, since it's only 6 o'clock right now, my time. Okay, but as far as the overall market, everybody, as we kind of checked out from the stock market today, Bitcoin went up, the stock market went down. We talked about a lot of the different assets out there in the stock market related fields, legacy securities, I don't know what you want to call them. We talked about it a lot, how they are hitting some levels of resistance. So if we go back over here to the NASDAQ, you see the NASDAQ is hitting a level of resistance from all the way back over here from August of last year. It's been a minute, but again, we're just consolidating. We're not breaking down. We're not getting rejected. We're just consolidating and hoping that we can have that next breakout. The Dow Jones over here also running into a level of resistance, mostly this larger chunk up here because it went a lot more sideways than everything else. This thing popped back up a lot faster than everything else as well. And then we got the SPY right here. Oops, daisy. Again, slightly getting rejected off of this resistance level over here. Again, not coming all the way back down, not looking so terrible, but you guys do see that everything is at a level of resistance right now. Bitcoin, NASDAQ, SPY, Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's whether or not we can actually break out above those suckers later on this week. And if we can, which would most likely have to happen for Bitcoin tomorrow, or at most the next 36 hours. But for every other index out there like the Dow, SPY, NASDAQ, etc., they have maybe 2 to 3 more days. So I'm hoping that we'll see that Bitcoin can actually have that breakout and start heading back up to 30,000, 32,000, something like that. And that'll probably be the peak for this bullish cycle that we've been seeing. And then I expect us to start getting more pullbacks here as we start getting more and more news about inflation, rate hikes, stuff like that, finishing off the month here. I don't know when the CPI report date, April. Yeah, so CPI report, the March inflation figures are slated for release by the BLS on Wednesday, April 12th at 8:30. All of a sudden, give it a few more weeks here, guys, we are going to be looking at more volatility, which could be very good volatility for us. But again, with OPEC doing their moves, it might not really affect us over here as far as the March numbers. It might affect April. So we might get one more boost until May runs around, then we have another rate hike, possibly CPI data, that type of stuff. Because if the market's still doing good, Jerome Powell still has all the ammo he needs to raise rate hikes again by another 25 basis points, which may spook the market because the fears of the banking crisis that we talked about as far as Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, etc. Okay. Let's see. And no worries, Wilder, I'll let you know. It's been kind of bad for me on Fairdesk so far just because I haven't been able to do as much copy trading as I want to. I told you guys that I'm going to be trading Bitcoin and I'm going to be trading change of characters. So, you buy here, you play the swings, you play the swings, and they're pretty good swings, right? Play the swings, play the swings, play the swings. Usually on the 4-hour chart, though, not the daily. So you can make some crisp profits. But again, this has been like the last 19, 20 days, and there hasn't been a single signal. So what I've been doing is I've been partnering with a couple of friends that I know that also are in other channels, and I'm going to do deeper dives into them. I would say, I'll just refresh that video and start from scratch because I'm not going to like make it into a production where I'm doing the cuts and editing and music into that. I'll just break down to who I like to follow in there and who I'd recommend following, because there's maybe like 4 people that I would say, hey, I like the way these guys trade. These are people that I would follow with my own money. And then since I can't do many trades right now because there's no science happening, which sucks. But I think that'll be good for you guys to watch out for. And so, yeah, after this video is over, later on tonight, probably, I'll do like a 15-minute video on Fairdesk and just kind of break down everything. And then I'll spend about 5 minutes of that doing the copy trading and the settings, because what I'm going to have to do, since I am technically a copy trader for Fairdesk, I'm going to have to make a brand new account myself and then be able to show it to you guys from the viewpoint of somebody who is not a copy trader, okay? So it might take me a few minutes to actually get that account set up, but I don't think it'll be too much of a problem here. Okay, now as far as Bitcoin's concerned, let's just go over here to the 5-minute chart. Sorry guys, Loki is like just really wanting to play right now. I took him outside for a long time. He's all dirty and muddy actually. But yeah, I'll do that for you. And I'm trying to wait on that Apple 170 to 174 for puts. What is it right now? Breakout for Apple, 4-hour. Yeah, it's still moving up. I'd say 170 would probably be a good target price to buy your initial position in there. But let me go back over here to the daily chart. I mean, that sweet spot really is up to 171, 172, all the way up here to 176. That is the sweet spot right there. I hope we can get up there. Let me see. What's this wasn't supposed to be there. I'm guessing it used to be something like this. There we go. And you got that around 170. Yeah, it matches up. I would say anywhere between a 170 and up here to 174. That'd be a good entry position. For me, though, when you see like something like Apple going up that fast, you really, in my opinion, want to buy like the expiration 2 weeks out. That way you can capture a sizable move as it comes back down, right? Sizable move. You're not aiming for it to come all the way back down here or down here, but if you do, it's nice. But if you start opening up at like 170 or somewhere over here, I'd be willing to test it back up here to 160 or so. Maybe it breaks down, maybe it bounces back up, who knows? But I could probably exit down there and take a new position if we do break down around 164 again, buy 160 puts, nothing too crazy, and watch as it comes back down here to 157 or so, and then you might see some type of bounce, and then you might be looking at some type of shoulder ahead, and then some type of shoulder like that. It's going to be ugly no matter what, but that might be a fun way to play it right there. But again, we don't have any of this information, so don't think about a head and shoulder just yet. Just keep it in the back of your mind. Because out of everything going on today, remember yesterday there was a big shock to the market because of the oil markets here. Let's go to USA oil. You know, oil all of a sudden is back to stabilizing around $81. We had OPEC had wanted this to stay around this, above 70, but below 80 level. That's what they determined to be stable. And now with this big move that they've done, well, a lot of the OPEC countries here, it's not just Saudi Arabia, but what they've done is they've really put a lid back on the energy market to stop everything from going bad. The only thing I think that's still in trouble here is natural gas. Natural gas. This is something that people are dollar cost averaging into as far as the companies out there, because this thing, it did have a little bit of a rally, but it came back down really fast after that big banking crisis. All of a sudden, everybody's panicking, and it might come all the way back down here to 153 before all said and done. Now, in hindsight, this is still a great opportunity to buy natural gas for the long term, especially if you guys are looking for corporations. However, it might be a while before you see some really solid profits, so maybe you want to put your money somewhere else. But I bet an LNG, natural gas, ETF would probably be a good bet for most of you guys out there that want to play this. A couple of the ones I've been looking at, like, they comprise of things like the PXDs and stuff like that. Because PXD has a, what is PXD? It's like a 11-12% dividend. I always forget. But this thing right now, just like everything else, is in a downtrend. This deals with natural gas and oil, but clearly in a downtrend here, broke down below that low, got a nice little pop after the news we saw with oil. But ultimately, a lot of oil stocks out there are still looking at downtrends. I don't know if I can go over here to Schlumberger, right? Schlumberger, a little bit more of a downtrend. ConocoPhillips, downtrend here. And I don't know if I can find any other ones here. There's ZOM on the very bottom here. Okay, ZOM is not. ZOM is just going beast mode, it looks like still. I guess it never actually broke down. It tapped and rallied back up here. Have a smaller breakout for that day trade we talked about, right? And there was that breakout. Nice little solid move, and off it went. Did I have this correctly? No, I didn't have this on there correctly anywhere. So let's see right here. I was probably doing this in the 2-hour chart then. Yeah, that makes more sense. But yeah, tap. Yeah, it didn't break out. Okay, there you go. That one looks pretty good so far, but nobody would have known that OPEC move was coming. They had been very silent while the overall market was falling back down here. But I do think some energy plays are going to be warranted over the next few days, just because everybody's so excited to see what happens with the OPEC. And I think Russia's making some moves. America might have a response to all this. Who knows if they're going to go back to the petroleum reserves? I just don't know. Probably not. But with energy inflation going the way it is, it was kind of going more sideways and maybe slightly down. But if it starts to go back up, probably not this month with this CPI report, but next month's CPI report, that could be a problem, because that would signify a stickier inflation as people, in springtime, people get their cars fixed up. They go to the mechanic for the tune-ups. They start driving on the road. They spend more gas. And while the production is going to be going down, we're also going to be having a demand increase across the world. Remember, every time I go on CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg, they're all talking about how China is reopening up. China's reopening up. And, oh yeah, nice tea. I don't know if that demand is going to be enough to keep oil prices up, or if the slowing economy is going to be too much to keep the price afloat around that $70 to $80 that we were just talking about. All right, let's go back over here. But so far, Bitcoin's having a pretty nice rally right now. Dogecoin is still kind of silent after yesterday, but it hasn't had that full-on capitulation moment. Some of you guys were looking for a couple day trades on here, and it looks like they didn't really. Yeah, I guess this one worked out if you went there, but that one was a little bit more tricky. Most people probably just selling off or shorting the resistance levels here. Short. Yeah. Let's see, but Dogecoin's still staying strong here, guys. Normally, Dogecoin decides to fall off a cliff after we have these big booms. So far, it's looking okay. That in hindsight and down the road next few days, it may end up being a little bit worse. But we're hoping that Dogecoin can make another big move. It still is slowly grinding back down, but it's not nowhere near the 9 cents that it could be at from yesterday. So not terrible. I guess we got to see what happens over the next 2 days as we approach the 20-day moving average or so. Anything else making moves as far as I'm concerned? Let me go over here to ApeCoin. ApeCoin is something I would buy if you guys are more bullish as far as Bitcoin's concerned, as we're trying to break out today across that I don't know, like the 29,000 level of resistance, if you will. I could see ApeCoin being one of them. ADA, how's that looking? This has already kind of had that big breakout moment. It'd be okay, but I wouldn't put so much money into it. More of a day trade here. AVAX, it looks fun. About to have a golden cross. This probably wants to go back up here to 20 or so. Not terrible. AXS, this looks interesting. Could have a bunch of golden crosses peak up there in the next few days. Bitcoin Cash and BNB. BNB is always worrying me right now just because of all the stuff going on with the SEC and whatnot, but I still think it long term, as long as they can survive this stuff, they should be solid here. Anything else here? Crowcoin, Sheeb. Sheeb may be a black dark horse, whatever you call it, just because of what's going on with Dogecoin. A lot of times this has sympathy for Dogecoin, so you might see this have a rapid pop up like another 10-15%. If I was to do a YOLO bet, not so much on technicals, but Sheeb following Bitcoin, I'd probably do like a 10x leverage play long here and probably have my stop loss probably just more like 105 one as the last 4 digits. This would be the good YOLO play, I'm assuming, for the next week or so as we kind of wait to see what happens with Bitcoin and Dogecoin. Dot, not too bad. Doge on Mars, sideways, not terrible. Engine, not too much there. Ethereum Classic looks like it wants to pop back up to what, $24? What is it? Yeah, $24. So we're in an interesting space, guys. I'm hoping all this Trump stuff in the news, I think that's all anybody's talking about right now in the news. If I go to news, oh, it took me to some random website, News 18. Okay, whatever. But yeah, there's Trump right there. I'm hoping that this doesn't have any cause any problems with the overall markets. At this point, I don't think it will. But I am always a little bit more concerned when there's a lot of political news going on in the ethos, whatever you want to call it. That leads me to believe that maybe there's something bad going on that we're not supposed to be knowing about. Let's go back over here to the 5 and kind of play this out a little bit. There we go. Now, but as far as the overall market today, we definitely did not have a good day as far as stocks are concerned. Amazon was up a little bit, Nike was up a little bit, but the majority of stuff was just not looking too good. Walmart, Tesla, semiconductors coming down, Microsoft down a little bit, Apple, banks still coming down here. Like, banks are still not in good shape. Although I will say a lot of the banks have been doing better than what they were doing a few weeks ago, but I mean, that's a pretty low bar to have to beat, right? Let me see if I can go over here. Oh, I want to just go to regional. Some of the larger banks that we talked about here, let's go over to the United States. Cap. I don't know. What's a bank that you guys know? I think KeyBank is a bank that you guys know, but basically, let me make this larger for you guys. Oh, this is already at 300 or 200%. Okay. Banks haven't necessarily recovered since then. And the media is saying that the crisis is over. I'm not so sure it is, honestly, guys. I think the crisis has kind of been mitigated a little bit, but I do think there's going to be some aftershocks to this, and those aftershocks are going to be large enough to cause some damage to the overall system, okay? So you're seeing everything like this? We could see banks go to another batch of new lows here if we just take another bad week, basically, right? And imagine banks going down with everybody else. Like, let's say the Nasdaq's going down. We see the semiconductors going down, Tesla, stuff like that. Sorry, adjusting my chair. If we start to see those type of things go down as well, I could see the banks hit new lows for the year just like that. So, I'm hoping that we can have that next move. I think we can have a next move as far as Bitcoin's concerned. The overall market, more yucky, but it's a possibility here. But take a look at a lot of these banks here. This is 15 billion. This isn't too big, but still, what do you call it? A lot of these banks haven't recovered. What is it? Citizens Financial Group. I don't really know much about these guys. First Citizens Banks. It came up back up a little bit. Now it's come back down. What is this? First Citizens Bank Shares Inc. This one actually came up a lot. I don't know what happened here. Maybe the earnings or... Oh, they have 2 shares. Okay, I don't know how their share systems work. No idea. First Horizon. Right. So a lot of these banks haven't come back up to normal levels, and people are still scared of what they're going to have to deal with here. The big one, though, is USB. This is the big $52 billion bank. This one, I think you might have heard it actually bought Silicon Valley Bank. Let me zoom back out for you guys here. Right? Let's go over here to a weekly chart. Last time it was this low was all the way back over here in 2020. Okay? 2020 was the last time we actually had these levels. If we zoom out a little bit more, right? If we start breaking down below this, then we come all the way back down here to 20, and then the banks are in a crisis mode once again. So I don't believe the banks are out of the storm yet, but if you guys are looking for some day trading opportunities, these banks have been pretty good. Be careful if you go down the options route, though. I think the implied volatility is a little hefty at this point in time. But yeah, that's just me and my personal opinion about the implied volatility rates. Dang, Ethereum 1900. Yeah, Ethereum is booming up a little bit more than a lot of other stuff right now, especially Bitcoin, if I can find it. Yeah, it's up. Oh, no, actually, Bitcoin's caught up to Ethereum now. Ethereum has been moving up for a while. Bitcoin just caught up a few minutes ago. I mean, it's because if you look at it right here, remember how we're talking about these zones. This is Ethereum zone right here. Let me get rid of this little blue line. This is that last breakout point, I would say, for Bitcoin, Ethereum. And just like Bitcoin, it is trying to break out above and hold above that 20-day moving average here. Looking pretty solid, guys. And if Ethereum is breaking out, usually that's a good sign for Bitcoin, I would say, normally. But again, what happens after we hit 2000? Oh, I don't know. We're probably going to have a reversal coming back down. Let's hope it's not a crazy pullback and we can continue the grind. But again, you know, how far does the stock market have to go before the stock market starts to pull back because of the CPI report coming out in a couple weeks? There's stuff going on with Donald Trump, all this kind of crazy stuff happening with the American currency because OPEC is making moves, Russia's making moves, China's making moves, everybody's making moves except for us, which is kind of crazy. Or if we are making moves, the government better like announce that stuff so we can all have a good idea of what's going on. But yeah, Ethereum had a breakout yesterday, still looks like it's going strong right now. Even if we go over here to the dollar index, remember guys, we talked about it coming back into the zone. This week or next week may be the time when we actually have that reversal off of the dollar. So while the dollar is coming back down, that's a great opportunity to go long, have some fun. If we have a reversal here, and again, you can just follow the squiggle line, go back up, that's usually going to be a time where you're exiting out of positions, you're opening up short positions, and you're waiting for an opportunity for it to top, hit level of resistance again, maybe kind of matching up with that one. And then you guys can start going back long after we hit 105. I don't know how bad the dollar index is really going to be at the end of the day here, because if we go over here to the monthly chart, we just broke down below the 20-month moving average here, or I guess we have 23 days before that happens. But there's going to be a little bit of volatility here as we try to hold on. But guys, the dollar is losing some momentum right now. And normally I'd say that's a good thing because of, you know, we want to see the dollar go down, so it's more of a risk-on environment. People want to put more money to work in the markets. But because of the high interest rates, because of the high inflation, and because of the fact that the dollar is like under a serious threat from Asia, you know, people say it's Russia, China. I agree with it to a certain degree, but this is mostly China and Saudi Arabia. They're the power players here. Russia isn't really the power player in this alliance, if that makes sense. I would say India has some pull. Brazil has a little bit of pull. To me, it's really Saudi Arabia and China. They're making moves to control the next currency, at least how they want it to be. We'll still see if it's gonna work out for them, but they're making the moves right now, and America really doesn't have a response for it at this point in time. There you go. All right, let's go to the 1 minute chart. I want to see if we can have another forceful move here and just have a good start to the day. Regeneron is standing strong. There you go. What up, Michael? How are you, sir? Crypto Pop. Hey, Tony. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm a little tired, but it's been a good day. I made a video for you guys. I don't know where it is. Oh my gosh, my thing is getting full. It's like a terabyte and it's getting full. I have this other one that has like 2.5 terabytes free. I need to start using it. It's camera card. I just made a video for you guys today. That's the thumbnail, and I'm not gonna play it. Oh, geez, that was loud. Yeah, turn down the desk. Okay, you guys can hear that good. But I made another video for you guys tomorrow, and this one breaks down how to make a trading strategy for using ChatGPT with a Bitcoin 15-minute chart and a 10x leverage. We haven't really done ChatGPT and leverage yet. So guys, make sure to check that out tomorrow. This one has a MACD, but I also explain how to use your own indicators. And in this video, I explain how to get different settings involved. So some of you guys may only like using the 21 and the 9 EMAs or the exponential moving averages. Maybe you guys will do the 5 and 35 or the 31 and the 38 or something like that. You guys can switch it up and it'll give you a few opportunities to tailor the strategy to suit your specific trading style. And so you can see which signals work best when Bitcoin's in a sideways market like it is right now versus when it's in a more aggressive market like it was a few weeks ago, stuff like that. So keep an open eye for that one. It'll be coming out tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock Pacific time, so maybe 10 o'clock. Maybe we'll do it for 6. Yeah, let's do 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. That way you guys can watch it during your lunch breaks or something like that. Okay, let's pop that up right here. I do want to see if we can break out, though. There you go. And hey, City of Dreams, happy to see you back, my man. The media is given a script to read every day, Michael. Oh, I know, but I was watching all this Trump stuff, and, you know, how do I say this? So I slept in this morning because I was very, very tired. I'm still getting over coming back from Vegas and, like, you know, going to bed at 5 o'clock every morning. I overslept, and I thought when I woke up, I would see some blockbuster charges being levied against the former president. And I thought there'd be something really concrete and hard hitting against him, because all I saw in the news and, I guess I get my news from TikTok and YouTube. All the news was how this was going to be a big, bad day for Trump, how it was going to be horrible, all that type of stuff. And then, you know, I got upstairs. I made myself a sandwich. I grilled some ham. I scrambled some eggs with some cheese, and I put that on a piece of I put it on a sandwich, and it toasted up, you know, like a grilled cheese with ham, eggs. I put some avocado in it. I was eating it, and I was watching Fox News and CNN. And I was expecting CNN to say this was a really bad day for Trump, and I was expecting Fox News to say this was no big deal at all. What surprised me was both CNN and Fox were both saying this was a disappointing indictment. Nothing really came out of it. And I was like, well, what the hell happened? Like, you know, even if you guys hate Trump, he's still a former president. All the other countries around the world are going to see this indictment today, and then we're like, oh yeah, they can't lecture us anymore. They don't have the moral high ground, which America usually tries to have. I don't know if we have it or not, but we pretty much lost it today. It was interesting. I was very shocked about it. I was happy it didn't really affect the markets overall. That was what I was more concerned about. I'm happy to say that, you know, while the markets did go down today, we just talked about that. It wasn't like it was necessarily like some really, really bad day. It was a technical rejection day where both the NASDAQ, the SPY, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average were all hitting levels of resistance. And we were just taking a little bit of a pause day to kind of regroup and wait for a breakout opportunity either tomorrow or the day after. I would say if you're hoping for something good, it most likely would have to be tomorrow, so we can see Bitcoin have a bit stronger move up. Because again, we don't have CPI data until the 12th, I think it was. So we still have, a couple weeks left. Next Wednesday. I got a week left, right? Next Wednesday. And hey, Eric, thank you. The Restrict Act. I know somebody said it right there. That is it right there. Thank you very much. Can essentially be used to ban any exchange and turn crypto investors and traders into criminals. That's the one that I've been looking for. Let me go over here to ChatGPT very fast. Hopefully my tea cooled out down here. No, it is still steaming and hot. Okay. Why can't I spell summarize? The Restrict Act. There you go. It'll browse the web for a second, because I do think this is important for us to check out, guys. As I need to learn more about it. I need to read more about it, and I'll try to get ChatGPT to summarize it for me, because legalese is something that I definitely have trouble understanding, which is why I normally like ChatGPT to help me out. So what I'll do here as well is I'll go over here to Restrict Act. There you go, Restrict Act right here. Is it still working in the background? Please say yes, it is. Okay. So this comes from Mark Warner from Virginia. Last action was 3-7, read twice and referred to Committee on Commerce. So it's being referred to the committee. It hasn't been passed or anything like that. That's good. This is one version of the bill. Text available as PDF. Okay, let's go over here. This is more of a bill. This is 55 pages right here. Okay, let me see. I'll go through this first, but yeah, maybe I'll go through this bill sometime here in the future. So this is who's sponsoring it though. Warner for himself, Mr. Thune, Miss Baldwin, Miss Fisher, Mr. Manchin, Mr. Moran, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Sullivan, Miss Gillibrand, Miss Collins, Miss Heinrich, Mr. Romney, and Mr. Capito. So there's a lot of senators back in this bill right now. Okay, but it says the Restrict Act, formerly known as Restricting the Emergence of Security Threats That Risk Information and Communications Technology Act, oh geez, I can see why they had to change the name, is a U.S. federal bill that requires federal actions to identify and mitigate foreign threats to information and communications technology, ICT, products and services, including social media applications. The bill establishes civil and criminal penalties for violations under the Act. The Department of Commerce is required to identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, and mitigate transactions involving ICT products and services in which any foreign adversary, e.g. China, has any interest and that pose an undue or unacceptable risk to the United States national security or the safety of U.S. persons. Number 2. Identify and refer to the president any covered holding that poses an undue or unacceptable risk to the United States national security or the security and safety of the United States persons. If the president determines that the holding poses such a risk, the president may compel divestment or otherwise mitigate the risk associated with the holding. That is pretty broad and sweeping powers right there. Yeah, I would definitely not want Congress to pass something like this. Move my T over there. And then 3, designate any foreign government or regime as a foreign adversary if the foreign government or regime is engaged in long-term pattern of serious instances of conduct significantly adverse to the United States national security or the security and safety of U.S. persons. Commerce may also remove such a designation. Commerce must notify Congress before making or removing a designation, and these actions are subject to congressional disapproval. The bill also outlines enforcement mechanisms, including actions by the Department of Justice, and establishes civil and criminal penalties for violations of the Act. What are the penalties? What are the penalties? Oh, it's going to go back. Okay. Yeah, but this is interesting here. I don't know if it'll let me zoom out a little bit. You guys might not be able to read it, but there should be a... Labor unions, a partnership, trust, or corporation, huh? Wait. Includes, unless removed by Senate pursuant to Section 6, the People's Republic of China, including the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and Macau Special Administrative Region, the Republic of Cuba, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the Russian Federation, and the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela, under the regime of Nicolas Maduro, holding the term and equity interest. Yeah, they're going after those types of places. So basically, if North Korea, Russia are using Binance US to launder money, the government can come in and say, or the bureaucracy, not the government, the bureaucracy can come in and say, hey, no more Binance. And the only way it gets stopped is if Congress overwhelmingly says no to it. That's wild. Okay. The Restrict Act grants the President of the United States authority to take appropriate actions to compel divestment of... Okay, yeah. Okay. Doesn't really say much there. Just divestment relief. So like kicked out of America, basically, so they can't access our funds. Wow, so yeah, that's... So when you first look at the bill, there's probably not too many crazy things about it, I would say, because it seems like it wants to go off of North Korea, Russia, China, stuff like that. But, you know, once you kind of read into it a little bit more, at least read the summary of it, you guys can see how this can be misused by a government official very easily because of corruption, which happens a lot in bureaucracies. How do you think bureaucracy people make all their money? At least the top level, not the mid level. Usually those guys are fine. It definitely seems a little scary and sketch to me. I wonder how they would exercise that power. It still seems that even with that Restrict Act, we're not going to have a full understanding of which cryptocurrencies are securities and which ones are not. we still need to have that framework, and I still have yet to see a bill that really dives into it, that has a possibility of passing a Republican House and a Democratic Senate and a Democratic White House. I don't know how that's going to work out, guys. That's pretty shitty, honestly. But we'll see how everything works out down the road. But yeah, ouch. Definitely not what you want to see getting passed through the Senate. And hey, Cephas, I'm happy you're enjoying the videos. Let me know if you want me to talk about any specific indicator, and I'd be happy to do that. Hi, Mike. What is your opinion on AMC and APE? I can check out APE for you very fast. So you're probably talking about APE, AMC. AMC. Let's see right here. Daily. Looks like it's falling off of a rock again here. That's not a good sign. We never got back up there. Never opened up the bullhorn, so to speak. Let me get all this old stuff out of here. I mean, it almost looks like it wants to break down and make new lows here. Oh, not new lows, but I guess it wants to break down and head back down here to at least 323, possibly coming back down here to this zone where we're in the 250s or so. I would say be very, very careful about this one. I don't know exactly what caused it to fall down today. Let me go over here to FinViz and look for it. Insider transactions are selling everything. Income is still down. There's been a lot of selling over the last few months, last few weeks. Antera Capital's exiting their position. It might be them. They've been selling off a lot here. But they bought some. Why would they? When did they buy this? Oh, no, they got their shares back. And okay, they sold everything. Wowza. Yeah. They were selling a lot of shares off of this. Okay, so what was the news here today? AMC stocks plummet, Ape share surge after theater chain finalizes share settlement. Oh, maybe that's it right there. So it looks like it had some really bad news today. Let me get out of this so I don't just start playing. The theater chain reaching a settlement to convert its AMC preferred equity units into the street as Ape shares into common AMC stock. Now the company is also planning a 10-to-1 reverse stock split. Holy shit. I'd stay away from this for now. Yeah, so this is going to be a stock split. I don't remember the last time they had a split though. So it basically means they shrink the total amount of shares, so the supply of shares is down, and therefore they could actually increase the value per share. So if there's a share that costs $2.50 and they do a 4-to-1 split, then that means that share times 4 is going to be 10, but there's also less shares. So you only get one $10 share instead of 4 $2.50 shares, right? Normally though, when you see splits like this, you see them like companies like this, where over time, it does, like you can see this S on the bottom, this is the orange signals, orange right here, right? Over time, all they do is go down and down and down and down and down. It's not a cycle you want to be in. Usually this allows for short squeezes on the other end of it. So if you want to, the day after the split, you could go over to AMC and do a YOLO call. You could try that. It would still be a YOLO because it still is extremely risky, to me, that symbolizes that you don't even want to hold AMC for long-term profits anymore. I'd be very, very cautious if you're going to go into AMC. I would say because they're looking for that split, that's a lot worse news than just whatever settlement they're doing to get the AMC, the Ape shares back into the AMC shares, whatever. That split is going to be big, Monica. Very, very big. NADs, Trump going to win 2024, like for real, for real. I mean, I don't think any of this stuff today necessarily hurt him. I was talking to one of my friends and, how I always get the Ricas messed up. I think it's Costa Rica. Hold on. Maps, Mexico. I think it's Costa Rica, but I could be totally wrong. Yeah, Costa Rica. Okay, yeah, Costa Rica. There's another Rica somewhere over here, and I always forget where it's at. Puerto Rico? No. Forget, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I was talking to a friend that lives in Costa Rica, and their news is talking about how it's a political thing. So I think around the world, you're starting to see the splits in different medias and the way different countries perceive this type of stuff, which I think helps out Trump. But at the same time, he was indicted, which is not a good thing. Nobody wants to be indicted, right? But I guess you could hope for it if it helps you politically. I don't know. I would never want to be indicted for a crime, though. It freaks me out. I'd be too paranoid about the system. And hey, Larry, how do you get ChatGPT? It's not too hard. You just have to type in ChatGPT to Google, and it'll take you to this OpenAI website. You hit introducing ChatGPT. Once you scroll down, it'll say something like try ChatGPT. And then once you do that, it'll ask you to log in through email. I'm already logged in, so I don't have to do anything. When you first sign in, you're probably just going to have the default and the legacy here. I'm part of the alpha program, so I get some special treatment, but you don't really need the alpha stuff. And then if you want to pay the $20 a month, you can get the ChatGPT 4. Although ChatGPT 4, it's very, very good, but you have to use it sparingly. It has a cap of 25 messages every 3 hours. Kind of sucks, to be honest, how you get so few messages. When I first started paying for it, because this is the ChatGPT Plus is the paid version, it was like 100 messages, but so many people signed up to use it that it's overwhelming to them because it requires so much data and so many servers. So I don't know if they're going to up that eventually, but if they do, it'll be absolutely fantastic. It'll be absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping they can do some good stuff here. But yeah, you just type in ChatGPT. You're going to open up the first link, which is to the OpenAI. Once at the OpenAI, you're going to go to try ChatGPT. And then maybe if I do this on another page, let's go over here. Let's open this to new incognito window. There we go. It'll ask you for your email. All right, so stand by. We're checking your browser. Log in. You're going to sign up. And then once you're done signing up, you're going to continue with Google, and you can log in with your email account. You can log in with your Microsoft account. Easy as pie. And then if you want to, you can sign up for the premium version, which is like $20 a month. I think that's what it costs. But I mean, I would only pay for it if you really have to use it for work, or if you really want to use it whenever you want to use it. Sometimes the system gets overwhelmed, so the people like me who pay $20 a month, we get priority as far as the servers are concerned, so I don't have to wait for people and stuff like that. But as you're testing it out, probably best not to pay for it, just to kind of test it out, see, ask it some questions, have a conversation, and watch a couple of videos on YouTube as far as how to use ChatGPT, a tutorial about the command structures, all that type of stuff. It'll help you out a lot. But it's not too difficult at all. It should be fairly simple. If there's any issues about like the different types of windows you're using it in, like maybe not on a PC, maybe on a Mac or something that's somehow different, let me know and I'll try to figure it out for you. NAXMMG, 20 years or $250,000 fine. Dude, that is wild right there. Do you know of any exchange where you can buy Saudi Arabia, Aramco, or Sabic shares? Hey, Larry, I do not at all. I mean, I would guess you could try to go through an Asian market like Hong Kong or something like that, because they're not as strict as we are here in America. But I honestly, I don't really know. I've never tried to go down that route. I always just try to go to the back end of that, to the oil stocks out here in the United States. I'm sure there's a way, but I myself have never tried to find it, Larry. Bed Bath & Beyond to the moon or hell no? Probably hell no, but that's just me not liking penny stocks all too much, right? Say you can't use a VPN to use those sites. Yeah, at this point, guys, I wouldn't recommend using a VPN to go to an exchange that that they're trying to get you to go to. So like right now, if there's an exchange called the Pineapple Exchange, and you've been using it for a couple of years and you absolutely love it, and all of a sudden one day the government says you guys can't trade on this anymore, I would not try to circumvent that. What I would try to do is just pull that money out, maybe to another wallet, like a cold wallet or whatever. I don't know if I have my cold wallet with me. Is this my cold wallet? Well, my cold wallet looks like this. It's over here. Underneath Loki's dog treat. Um, you know, put all your crypto on a cold wallet or something like that, and then just look and shop around for a week or so or a few days to see where you can put that in that follows the rules where you're not going to have many issues. I would say if you guys are trying to hold crypto, maybe Kraken is an okay place to do it, but there's Binance US, there's KuCoin, there's a whole bunch of Fairdesk, right? There's a whole bunch of opportunities for you guys to place your crypto, but take a week or something. Just figure it out in your own time. But I would not try to keep on going around the rules or the restrictions with the VPN. It'll work for a while. It'll probably work for a long time, actually, because the government's so freaking slow to react to this type of stuff. But if by some small, slim chance that the government finds out, it could be a fine on your part. I don't know the particulars, but it could be painful, right? So don't expose yourself to any unnecessary pain. And this is part of it sucks because, again, we're still in the beginning stages of crypto. Even looking at the last few years, we're still in the beginning sections, at the beginning crypto era. But we're going to have to find ways to hold this crypto without violating any laws, which makes it so annoying, which is why I think people are getting a lot more cold storage wallets, just hiding the money, not even hiding, just keeping the money in there and just saying, hey, government, we're not using any of these exchanges that you guys don't like. We're using an exchange you guys do approve of, but we're just putting our money on there. Then we're just sending all of our crypto off the exchange because we're afraid the exchange may go down because the government may change its mind all of a sudden one day, right? There's no reason to play that game with the government. Dogecoin making a move. What's it doing right now? Yeah, it's still going up a little bit here, but overall it's still this little bit of a downtrend. But again, we're at a level of resistance. We're going to see if we can break out or not. Hopefully we can. Dogecoin's looking pretty good. Though, I mean, the whole market right now is looking fine, right? What we need to see happen later on today for Bitcoin is we need to just see it pop up. That's all we're looking for. Pop. That's it. That pop starts a whole another move over the next few days where we're heading back up here to like 32,000, 33,000 almost or so. And that's what we're looking for. But if we don't get that move, right? If we don't get that breakout today, it's going to be very, very annoying because we've already seen Ethereum actually have that breakout. Remember, right? Resistance. Ethereum had that breakout. Usually when Ethereum has that breakout, Bitcoin has that breakout. So I'm hoping that Bitcoin can follow Ethereum here, and then we can hope for some stronger moves. If I was to guess, I would say that we're going to have a pretty nice breakout with Bitcoin today. That would be my hope here. Now, if the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones and everything like that, if they all get rejected tomorrow, that could be a pain. That could sure be a pain again for everything. But I could see all of these breaking out sometime later on in the week. And I could always see Bitcoin actually breaking out and the stock market just going sideways. That's happened a lot too. So I'm rooting for Bitcoin to have a solid breakout today, and we might see $30,000 in the next 36 hours. So that's the hope here, at least. There you go. While we just consolidate here a little bit, let me take a sip of this tea. This is tea for your immune health, and I put some Moroccan mint in here too. Dandelions. I'm pretty sure there actually really is dandelions in this tea. Man, sometimes the fancy tea can be a little too fancy. To it gets to the point of being a joke. When you search restrict at crypto, first results include how the US can ban Coinbase and how it can be used to ban Bitcoin. I mean, I really wonder why America is focused, like the government is focused so much on cryptocurrency and less on, I don't know, Eastern powers, I don't know what you want to call it, BRIC countries, and why we are not focused on them literally uprooting the current financial dynasty that America has built up over the last 100 years. That whole system is being dismantled, and the government isn't retaliating or doing anything. Actually, let me Google this. Let me check this out. We'll use Alpha. Is the United Is the United States doing anything to fight back against the BRIC countries, I guess? Maybe we can find an answer here. Oh, something gone wrong. There we go. Browse web. Yeah. I don't know, guys. Like, I just, I don't know. I don't know. And hey, Alan, time happened to you. Hey, guys, Loki's like really excited over here, so I'm just gonna let him come up here and say hello again. He is just like really excited. Do you want a treat? I think you want a treat. Come here. Okay. Now he's gonna run off and go eat it. But yeah, I mean, for as far as I'm concerned, I feel like it's a much bigger issue. So here we go. The United States is facing a growing wave of global de-dollarization as some of the largest and most populous countries are banding together to launch an alternative to the US dollar for use in global trade. BRICS, which stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is an economic bloc consisting of 5 leading emerging economies. State Duma Deputy Chairman Alexander Barkarov is encouraging the creation of a new common currency between Russia, India, and the other BRIC nations as a way to push back against the USD hegemony. This comes amid aggressive interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve, which have put pressure on the currencies of other countries. Excuse me. And that's true. Us raising our rate hikes has pretty much like screwed over so many other governments' currencies, like their own state bank, so to speak. Babakov highlighted the benefit for Russia and India in creating common currency for payment, suggesting that it could be a digital ruble or the Indian rupee. He noted that China would also play a crucial role in the development of a common currency, adding an additional 1.4 billion participants to the system. Babakov emphasized that the new currency should follow the laws of respective nations and should not be based on defending the USD or the euro, but rather on forming a new currency capable of benefiting their shared objectives. The initiative comes at a time when there is a high level of opposition to the USD hegemony, especially following the heavy-handed sanctions by the US and other European nations. The BRIC nations see this as an opportune time to capitalize on the growing level of dissatisfaction towards the US and to focus on the new rules in the financial sphere that enable the use of common currency. Same. So is the US doing anything to push back on them or slow down their plans? Some of that. This is what I'm trying to get to, the slowing down part. This was a pretty much generalization of what's going on. But again, it is kind of important here. Let's go back over here. Anything happening now? So we can kind of listen to that for a second. I'm so glad I saw that crap at 8:15. There you go. When you oh no, I saw that one already. National Law Review says penalties up to 1 million to 20 years in jail. Holy shit! See, that's a big one right there. AI is getting crazy, to be honest. Now AI poses as Trump, Obama, and Biden made an anime podcast. Man, I'm getting old. Should invest some money and make AI influencers. What do you call they look pretty interesting. I've seen them on TikTok where they're all gaming and having a fun time. I like the AI versions of Trump, Biden, and George Bush and Bill Clinton a lot better than their like their real selves. I think they're much more entertaining that way. U.S. will hurt fighting BRIC country, and BRIC country would hurt badly fighting the U.S. economy. It's a never-ending stare fight. See, but it's not even a stare fight. What do you call it? The BRIC countries are making moves. They're actually making moves right now. They're stopping using American currencies. The Chinese yuan is taking dominance in Russia right now. It's insane. They're making moves, and we're not doing those same moves, right? We just had to change the character on the 4 hours for Bitcoin. Hopefully it confirms itself in the next few hours, and that'd be freaking awesome right there. Loki is the best mascot. He very much is. Right now he's laying back down because he finished his snack. And right here. Okay, I'm going to wait for that to load so far. How's Bitcoin doing over the weekly chart? Yeah, because look at this. We are so geared to just have a really good week this week. We're geared towards it. Even though I might not like it because I still want us to come back down so I can accumulate more cryptocurrencies for a cheaper price, it still has the feeling that we're gearing up for a major move. So I'm still prepared for it. I might try to make a trade off of that. We'll see. Maybe, let's see right here. Yeah, we're only a few $100 away from our next level of resistance. Then we got to start dealing with the breakout part, which is what? Yeah, it's only really up here around 29,195, 29,200 or so. We could break above that easily, but it's just going to be one of those moves that requires a bunch of force. So we're just going to wait for the big boom to happen afterwards. So if you wanted to go long right now with a short leverage, this is probably going to be your opportunity over the next few hours, I would say. Again, be careful because the NASDAQ, the SPY, and the Dow have not broken out yet. Everything is on the verge of breaking out. You guys are doing a preemptive buy if you guys are choosing to buy into the market right now. Yeah. And hey, Ivan, Dogecoin's the people's coin, as Elon says. People do love it, and everybody on Twitter definitely does love it here. I am not seeing anything as far as this. Is browsing. It's still browsing. United States response to BRICS common currency plans. BRICS attempts to, so I'll go here. Let me just find the website while it's searching for it. So this is the exchange, Africa's investment gateway. So it couldn't even find anything from the CNBC, Fox Business. It couldn't find anything from them. It chose to go here. Okay. And it's still scanning it, I guess. Should the common currency be formed, it will be based on a basket of currencies of the BRICS countries and the Chinese RMB yuan, the Russian ruble, and the Indian rupee, the Brazilian real, and the South African rand. All right. See, I don't see anything. I guess the criticism for it, the dollar's rise over the past year has inspired a lot of hopeful thinking in emerging markets about reducing their dependence on the currency and sensitivity to the tides of the U.S. rates, writes Paul McNamara. Yeah. As to the BRICS ambition to form a common currency, or what McNamara refers to a growing clamor to challenge the dollar's hegemony, the analyst admits the statements coming from Russia and China can be put in a bin labeled attempts to undermine the U.S., but what about India, Brazil, and South Africa? All parties to the BRICS are all vying for independence from the dollar in global trade. So they don't even expand upon it at all. Maybe there's just not much in here. Again, it's very, very hard to figure out what America is doing to fight back against the BRIC countries. Now, are we in a crisis mode or anything like that right now? No. But we're heading for a crisis point, and our economy is already headed for another crisis point. So if those two things converge, it'll just be a disaster for a lot of people out there. D's nuts. You would long Bitcoin if you hard if you could. Thoughts on 60% of portfolio and three names: Regeneron 30%, Daily Journal Companies 15%, ASML 50%, 20 in oil, green tech, hydrogen, silver 5%, crypto 9%, general fund 50 names, 6% more into crypto. I don't know. Wait. So you want to put 60% of your portfolio into Regeneron, ASML, oil, green tech, hydrogen, silver, crypto, and general fund names 50 names, 6% maybe more crypto. I don't know. It doesn't sound bad on its face, but when I look at companies like those are usually companies where, let's exclude the crypto here, you really just want a dollar cost average into, but for a long period of time. When I think about that, I think of great returns, but you're holding for 5, 10, 15, 20 years plus. So I think it's good, but if you're looking for something in a shorter time frame, maybe you put more money into crypto. Maybe you don't invest as much into the oil play for it now, unless you're choosing to hold it for a while. And then what you're probably going to be doing is maybe Regeneron should actually work fine for that. Maybe some green tech, hydrogen, as the government's going to put like tons of money into green energy over the next few years. That might not be bad. Silver may be a good hedge, maybe gold in there a little bit too, but I usually think crypto is going to be more than enough for that to overcome that. honestly, I might. So like, if we, let me just go over here and just put Regeneron in here. Oh, I forgot there you go. All right, you look at something like a Regeneron right here, biotech, it's been doing fine for a while. I don't think I've actually looked at the website on this for years now. A lot of good stuff. They pretty much just acquire a whole bunch of companies and use them. They're what the other people make to make a lot of money. They're very good at it. You can see something like this. For me, I haven't been so much into biotech. I've been looking at doing my dollar cost averaging more into the AI space here. So a lot of the money I've been doing is for NVIDIA, AMD, long-term small buy positions and kind of riding the waves. And normally, I guess if I was being more prudent, I might add something like an Apple or a Microsoft. But so far, I really am of the mindset that the semiconductor space, the clouds like the Circle, not Circle, Oracle, those are going to be good long-term plays as all this AI has to be used, it has to be server space to use it. Now, I haven't checked out Oracle in a while too. I'm not saying your portfolio is bad. It's really good. But for me, mine's more centered around AI. But for yours, it's definitely 5, 10, 15 years down the road type of thing. And you can see Oracle right here. This thing has still been going up, even though everything else has been doing bad. Oracle's still been doing strong. You go for the last monthly calendar. It's still doing fairly well, even after the really bad October that we had last year, inflation, yada, yada, yada. It's still having some amazing times. Dollar cost averaging is usually what I'm going to be looking for. And if you go down here, right, there's not too much being sold off here. We have the director selling off some in April, in February, and December, November. I like when you're not seeing people sell off too much here. Although the one thing about Oracle is the dividend is only 1.7. I wish they would just pop that up to 2%. Be good with us. But if you can play with the AI sector or at least have a little bit of exposure to it, even with your portfolio, I think it'll give you some great returns as well. Whatever software infrastructure, I think was Finviz calls it, but not all software infrastructure is the same. Like this is a firm. A firm is like a loan company, I think. A firm holdings, I think that's what it is. This is loans, right? Yeah, online and stores, wherever you love to shop, pay over time, just about anywhere with their firm app. Yeah, there's different ways to look at it. I don't know. Is there a different way to do this? No, I don't know how to do this, but yeah, what do you call them? On this particular platform, Finviz. But yeah, I would say do a little twinge of AI in there. It'll help you out a lot, and it gives you a little bit more exposure. A little bit more exposure to volatility, honestly. But that usually, if you hold on, again, for 5, add it to your portfolio 5, 10, 15 years, it's going to be going up regardless. You just have to try to time it with that next high point of the market. And Adrian Bob, definitely some exciting times. I'm hoping that we see a lot of these coins start to move back up. Because if we go into a recession and crypto's ripping, I would just laugh so hard. Let's hope Elon watch your channel, and once Doge goes boom, goes viral. I mean, I would like that a lot. My channel got a lot of views off of the Dogecoin announcement yesterday. I only think there's like maybe 1 or 2 channels that actually have Dogecoin streams nowadays. Most people can't afford them because they cost a little bit of money to have that 24-hour stream running. But when Dogecoin had their logo put on the Twitter website or whatever, it did lead to a lot of new people watching the channel. Saudi Arabia is planning to join BRICS away from the dollar. So yeah, Saudi Arabia is trying to get away from the petrodollar. And that's because they sense weakness coming out of America. Regardless if you guys like Joe Biden, hate Joe Biden, think he's just an okay guy, whatever, it doesn't matter. They see him as a weaker individual and somebody that's not going to fight back so much, right? So I guess the way history, I guess, may say it happened is more when the Afghanistan debacle happened. But Saudi Arabia, they gave us the middle finger a couple times. Remember, guys, Joe Biden said that he was going to make the Saudi Arabian prince a pariah, Saudi Arabia pariah on the national stage. Well, then we stopped producing so much oil and energy, so Joe Biden had to go over there and beg for more energy production. Remember, he did the famous fist pump, right? Fist pump with MBS after he killed the journalist guy. And so, and then he did all that, and Saudi Arabia was like, nah, we're fine. We're not going to be doing more oil. We're not going to be doing more oil production. And then boom, they just like slapped in the face. And now with this last big move with the oil prices coming down, they're like, yeah, we're just going to cut production by like 1 million barrels a day. That's a huge slap to America again, because we're trying to deal with our inflation around energy prices. Like, let me see. Energy. So we're trying to deal with energy inflation right now. We're up to 5%. That's pretty good compared to where we were. Over here last July, 41 freaking for the energy inflation. Okay, that's absolutely bonkers. Like bonkers, crazy, wild, stupid, crazy, like absurd. That's crazy what we were dealing with. Go over the last 25 years. 2015 it was low. 2020 it was low. We're trying to get back into that normal level over here, which is acceptable, which kind of ranges honestly between like 3 and 3, like -3, +3, somewhere in that range. But it's going in the right direction right now. But if this starts to reverse, it's not going to be good for anybody, because again, CPI, right? United States Consumer Price Index. The consumer price index in the United States rose by 6% year over year to 300.84 points in February 2023, broadly in line with market consensus of 300.86 points. The annual inflation rate slowed for an 8th consecutive month, suggesting an inflationary pressure in the world's largest economy. Wait, pressure in the world's largest economic. Yeah, this is supposed to be economy. They mistyped. Cooled following the United States Federal Reserve's tightening campaign over the past year. Okay, so you see it like that. There's another way to look at this core inflation rate. There you go. Right, coming back down, cooling down a little bit here, but we still have to deal with all the other stuff like rent inflation. I don't know if there's rent inflation on this one. There it is, rent inflation. Right, rent inflation keeps on going up. Go to the last 5 years. Woo! Last 10 years, last 25 years, we've never had rent inflation this bad, except for all the way back here in the 70s. I wasn't alive in the 70s. I don't know how crazy that must have been, but rent inflation isn't slowing down, everybody. It's just not slowing down. What you're seeing is more and more families, maybe instead of like a person living by himself in a house with a dog like I am, you may see with one of my friends is doing over in Montana, his parents moved in with him, and they have a really large house now because, the parents sold their house off to move in with the son. Now they have a monster of a house, which is absolutely gorgeous, but now it's it's a whole family, like multi-generational family in a single house. So, we're getting back to the 70s levels of inflation where things are just looking really, really bad. And I don't really know what happened historically as far as like riots, people not being happy, protests and stuff like that. But I assume there was a little bit of protesting, kind of like what we're seeing with France and England with the strikes and stuff. We better get our rent control in order, because all these prices are heavily, heavily inflated. Export prices, anything else here, month over month inflation rate, still getting larger and larger and larger. That's still not a good sign, except for July. It seemed like it was pretty good. But yeah, we got some issues, guys. We got some issues. Let's see. Oil trade is currently good for swing trade. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm hoping that oil gets up to $100 a barrel. I'm hoping that it gets there sometime over the summer, but we'll have to see how the economy holds up during that time. I'm curious to see your thoughts on Tencent. Tencent? I don't know what Tencent is. Is it on Coinbase? I don't know. Tencent. There it is. $85 million market cap. It's a very small market cap. That's good to see. I like the smaller ones. The price is around 48 cents, so that's not bad. Please exit. So there's a little bit of a warning about this for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. You can buy it on a few exchanges, not many. Gate.io maybe for most of you guys out there. So connecting crypto startups with community. Tencent empowers the most promising projects with tech support, marketing, and attention for an active community. I know there have been websites like this in the past that have gotten in some trouble because they promote rug pulls, right? If somebody does a rug pull, they have a lot of cash on hand. They can usually pay somebody like this to make a whole campaign for them, get a whole bunch of new people to subscribe and join their platform and whatever, give them money, and then they rug pull again. So I'm a little bit hesitant when I see stuff like this, but as long as they're playing by all the rules, usually you should be fine with investing in them. Just be careful with it, right? Alaskan Gold Rush, currently launched. Pre-sale begins March 18th. Max purchase 5 BNB. That's like $1,000 or something like that. Previous projects: Fame, MMA, Meta Hero completed. Let's just check one of these out. So Fame, MMA. Never heard of this one before, but I'm not savvy to every new coin out there. There you go, Fame MMA. The market cap isn't being shown. It looks like it has a low market cap. Nothing wrong with that. There's tons of coins that have low ones. Let's go year to date. 1 year. Opened up at 40 cents. It's now at 0.0015. Looks like that campaign didn't really work out. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the fault of the Tencent guys. Usually it's like the project itself. So like, I want to see what type of projects actually work with them though, that they would want to have it on the front page. New opportunities, even greater emotions. Fame MMA setting new standards in the freak fights. Is the biggest in Europe freak fight federation and premier combat sports organization that hosts events for celebrities, personalities, top YouTubers, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok superstars, and famous professional athletes to fight each other. Oh, so it's like watching your favorite YouTuber beat the shit out of another favorite YouTuber. Okay. This would be kind of fun to watch. I don't know. So I always like seeing people beat the shit out of each other. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a dude. But going back to here, I mean, it seems like they'll be fine. I'm not entirely sure what would justify their coin getting a lot more money and a lot more investment. I think that's the thing here. Twitter. Let's see. Highly skilled, full stack developer, especially in solidarity smart contracts. You know, maybe dollar cost average a few $100 into it. It seems like it might be worth an investment. But again, I got to figure out more about how they're actually making money because they have this buyback section here. This is what I'm confused about. The less assets out there, the more valuable they can get. We regularly purchase 10 set assets from the market and then burn them for deflation. Buyback potential, 10 set tokens, reserves. Oh, they even own some NFTs here so far. Burned. I mean, I would say it's worth having a small investment into it. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I have to learn a little bit more in it, but it seems fine. The project that I'm seeing right here looks like a decent project. I don't know much about the European fight scene, honestly. I don't really know much about Europe in that sense. But I would give it a shot. A small investment in a bear market can't hurt. Yeah. Make sure you can afford to lose the money, of course. Again, remember, guys, I have not my portfolio, but I have a watch list. Let me log in here. Year to date, I have positions that have done very well, and year to date, I have positions that have not done very well. So remember, when you start working with some of the lower market cap coins, your dollar cost averaging into them, and you're just letting them sit. Some will lose money, some will make you a lot of money, but the best thing you could do is just to hold on to them because you never know exactly when it's going to rip and go parabolic, right? So like year to date, my baby Doge coin is up 189% year to date. That's not even from the lows, just year to date. Phantom is up 133. That's over $1 billion though. Ocean Protocol up 122. So you got a few up 100. Audio up 113. Really good plays here. But on the other end of that, right? go all the way down to the bottom, or let me just switch this up here. You know, I also got positions that are down 67%, right? Xeon is down 67%. High Blocks is down 57%. Social Good is down 40, right? So most of them are doing fine, right? The majority of them are doing very, very well. However, when you go into these low market cap coins, you're definitely going to have some losers. You're just going to have some. So make sure you guys understand that. Maybe I'm up net, like net profit, but it's not like every single thing is working out very well. Social Good right here, I can't even see the market cap anymore. It's down 40% year to date. It's down 4% in the last hour, right? Now, this market cap was never big in the first place, so you might just invest like $20 to $100 in it, right? I don't know if I can show you guys the market cap or if it's even going to show up here. Yeah, it's not even going to show up. But you guys, I think that, did I buy this on BitGate? I'm not entirely sure. Where did I buy this at? No, maybe it's MEXC. Then it has to be MEXC because I don't really have any other accounts here. I don't even use MEXC all too much anyway. But right, very, very small market caps there. So just be prepared to put some money down into it and then just let it sit, let it sit, let it sit. You never know when if it is going to come back or not. New Zealand hikes interest rate by 50 basis points in a surprise move. Asian markets mixed. Ooh, that's interesting right there. You got the futures all up, though. That can give us a big move here to break out. There we go. My thoughts on ICP. ICP at this point is something you just want to dollar cost average and hold for the long term. It has had a very, very ugly few years here, 2 years, I think. The project itself seems okay, but they had a very horrible, horrible valuation of what to enter the market into, and they got punished heavily for that. If you want to get into ICP, you're probably just going to want to dollar cost average into it. Because they do have, I guess, a stronger company and a lot of people backing it, maybe you can go up to $1,000 as far as an investment. Yeah, you know, maybe. But dollar cost average that and maybe $100 every 2 weeks and really just milk that out. Even if we're going higher and higher, milk it like baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Because eventually I think we're going to come back down and you have another good opportunity to start buying more ICP there. Hi, Mike. Do you track crypto transfers? I tried to move some STMX to Trust Wallet onto a different phone, and after 2 days, it has still hasn't arrived. I double checked the wallet address. How do you track them? I think it depends on exactly what you're using to transfer the wallets, right? Normally, I don't have to track them because the crypto just kind of goes through, but I don't know exactly the process that you went through, Ken. So what I would probably say is that the best bet would be to contact the support staff of whatever you use to transfer it over there. So if you used BitGate, Binance, KuCoin, something like that, I would go to their customer service and say, hey, my cryptocurrency hasn't arrived yet. Can you check this out for me? And they might be able to find it, because when you're doing something like Ethereum, you can just go to the Etherscan, right? Which is very, very simple to kind of track everything. When it comes to other tokens outside of that, I'm really not sure. There are different apps and websites out there, but I don't utilize them myself. Most of my wallets that I transfer money back and forth to, they're all kind of saved, so I don't necessarily ever worry about it, but I don't know how to track stuff outside like really Ethereum. And hey, Fitz, VHC is giving a special dividend of $1 per share on April 17th if owned shares before April 10th. Would that mean if you owned 100 shares, you would receive $100 in dividends? VHC. Why are they doing this, though? Oh, that's why it's not worth a lot. Yeah. I mean, the market cap is at 116 million. That's a pretty small amount. There we go. Special cash dividend of $1 per share. Announced ex-dividend date. Okay. So the New York Stock Exchange has determined that Vernet's X's shares will trade with due bills representing assignment on the right to receive a special dividend up through the inclusive of the payment date of April 17th. The ex-dividend date will be April 18th, 2023, the first business day following the payment date. Stockholders who sell their shares on or before the payment date will not be entitled to receive the special dividend. Due bills obligate a seller of shares to deliver the dividend payable on such shares to the buyer. Okay. I'm not entirely sure. Do bills obligate a seller of shares to deliver the dividend payable on the such shares to the buyer? The due bill obligations are settled customarily between the brokers representing the buyers and the sellers of the shares. Vertinex has no obligation for either the amount of the due bill or the processing of the due bill. Buyers and sellers of Vertinex X shares should consult their broker before trading to be sure they understand the effect of the New York Stock Exchange due bill procedures. I don't know if this is something that's kind of like in the weeds, so to speak, like really in the weeds. I mean, Robinhood has a thing on it. So in some cases, spinoffs and special dividends may be different, may have different rules than the standard distributions when it comes to ex-dividend rates. Typically, you are qualified for the dividend if you are the record holder on record date of the distribution. When an event carries the due bill, the ex-dividend date is after the record date, and any buys or sells placed after the record date are automatically tracked. The ex-dividend date becomes the day your total position is eligible for the event. Typically, an ex-dividend date will be after the record date and the pay date in the situations where a spinoff or special dividend is greater than 25% of the stock price. Um, in theory, it looks like it, yeah. Um, to be frank, I don't know much about this special. I'm not used to the special ones because they're usually the ones with lower market caps. If you wanted to put $100 in there and just kind of test it for a one-time thing, then the next time you see it, you do the same thing again. You could definitely do that. Part of me is afraid that they're doing this to raise capital so they can do an offering or something down the road here. Um, I honestly have no idea why they're doing this or what the purpose is. Um, it seems curious, but again, I have no idea, right? Um, Apple wins reversal of 502 million Vertinex patent infringement agreement. This is back in March. That means they may need money, which means they may need to do an offering here. And in order to do the offering, they have to get people to buy, and maybe they get a little bit of a dividend for it. But then they have an offering, and then then they can get a lot more money for it, basically. Um, what do these people do? The leading cybersecurity company for the modern workforce. A very elegant website. Products, War Room, built with a zero trust philosophy, zero out your risk with War Room. Our digital ecosystem. Okay. I mean, I would say just to be safe, I wouldn't do it because I have no idea what exactly this means, especially since they just lost a massive lawsuit, it looks like, to Apple. But if you wanted to test it out with $100 or $50 or $10, give it a shot, see what happens. Ooh, excuse me, guys. And hey, Moonshiner, happy to see you back. Um, let's see. And Eric, what's SG? Was such a good promise that turned into a scam? Recommend Demo or Honey for new coins to grow. What do you call? I'll have to look into those ones too. That special dividend sounds like Ford right now. Yeah, that's true. And no worries, Ivan. Yeah, go over it, see what you can find out, and be careful with it because I've never seen something like that before. ApeCoin, everybody, is taking a little bit of a rise right now. I'm still hoping that Bitcoin can have a solid move. Ethereum is still consolidating here, so we can wait for Bitcoin to have a larger move down the road, I hope. Now let me get out of this war room. This, and got this for now. It should be okay. There you go. Just waiting for Bitcoin to have that next big leg up. It looks like. Let's go over here very fast because I don't see any other big news coming out right now. I think all the news really coming around happened to be around that Trump stuff, and then that rate hike we saw was Australia or something like that. See, Federal Reserve mentioned a rate target will need to go over 5%. Anything else here? Virgin Orbit CEO calls out company leadership for failures and goodbye memo. Read the full email. GME overtakes Ford as second best seller of EVs in the US, but still trails Tesla by a wide margin. Yeah, because it's Tesla. Anything else here? GM says 5,000 salaried workers will take buyout, expects $1 billion charge in the first quarter. So there's more layoffs going on. Yeah, there's not much going on here, guys. We're in a pretty chill day. But overall, guys, I do think we're probably going to have a solid breakout here later on today. At least I hope. I do think we can try to make our way back up to 29,000, if not 31,000 by the end of the day. And by the end of the trading day here. So I'll leave you guys with that. I'm going to go make some dinner and chill out for a little bit. I'm still tired from last night, so I'm going to have to go take a look outside, have them run around a little bit before it gets, well, it's already dark out, so what am I talking about? And then I'm going to start making some content for you guys because I want to get that fair desk video for you guys ready as well. And that way you guys can figure out which copy trader you guys want to copy and how much money you can expect to make based off of their previous transactions, their previous trades, okay? So I'll see you guys a little bit later. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your night and look forward to 2 videos coming out tomorrow. One about ChatGPT and a trading strategy using the MACD, and the other one here that's going to be going over everything